books, changing lives, one day at a time. Put your problems to the side, enjoy yourself, free your mind. Kicking it with KeKe.
What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, life, love, and all that other shit. We are here today, and I have a very special guest. Y'all know, for all of the people who have been tuning in, that this is a personal development podcast, and we would love for everyone who listen in to take away something positive that they can carry on, or that you can carry on into your everyday life. Today, we will be talking about professional wellness with my guest, Lillie Mae. How are you doing today, love?
I am doing very well. Glad I don't look like what I've been through. That's what I'm
Hey,
gonna say.
right, absolutely. And that's great because I always like to do a mental check-in with my guests to see how everything is going. So exhale, let it out.
I ain't, honey. When I tell you, I'm gonna be exhaling for the next few weeks, but I'm well. And that's the part of it, to be able to be well and grow through it instead of just going through it. So,
absolutely, absolutely. So I like to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. That way you can tell the audience as much or as little as you like. So I'll go ahead and turn the mic over to you, and you let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Okay, so like she said, I am Lillie Mae. That is my government name, branded my name, named after my paternal grandmother. And so I hold strongly that name for a long time. You know, growing up as a millennial and being named Lillie Mae, it was just like, But as I got older, I realized I couldn't have any other name. So I'm cool with Lillie Mae. And it works for me. It's rarity, you know, it's perseverance, it's strength. I'm from the great city of Danville, Virginia, which was the last capital of the Confederacy. And I spent the majority of my adult life in Richmond, Virginia. I went to college in Petersburg, then went up the road about 20 miles to VCU, and just last year relocated to Georgia.
Okay.
And I have a collective of things going on, hence the name Lillie Mae The Collective. So business consultant, media correspondent, public educator. Now, those are my business entities. By day, I'm what's called a behavioral health case manager for a major United States-based MCO. And so, managed care organization, because I know a lot of times people don't know the acronyms, but what that looks like is by day, I'm a behavioral health professional, right? By evening, I deal with everybody that got behavioral health issues on top. I'm like, okay, I can't handle mine and yours. Some got to give.
Right.
Needless to say, that's the small snippet of who I am. And I know as we go through the interview, we'll get into it a little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming to kick it with me today. It is a pleasure to have you here. I always like to say that because if I didn't have guests, it'll just be me. And I don't want people to say, oh, we don't want to talk to KeKe today, which that won't be the case because you never know who you're going to get when you listening to me. So just so y'all know that. But we are talking about professional wellness is something that we all should know about. It's something that if you have a business, or if you're aspiring to have a business or build a brand, something that you should try to know about, research about, find out more about. If you had to define professional wellness, how would you define it?
I would define professional wellness as a healthy work-life balance, right? It's having the necessary tools in place to be able to balance all of the stresses that come along with your work life, your home life, your social life. And that improves the overall quality of your life.
Absolutely. Why is it important when building a brand or a business? Because a lot of people don't realize that professional wellness goes hand in hand with building a brand or business.
So I think before we talk about professional wellness and the importance, we got to talk about what personal wellness and personal development looks like. So there are 6 dimensions of wellness, right? You got your emotional, your occupational, which is your job, your physical being, your social, intellectual, and spiritual.
Right.
And so we got to talk about the personal development part. And the personal development are those activities that are kind of in place to, improve your talents, enhance your learning potential, your employability, and even your financial situation. So that's what personal development looks like, right?
Right.
So anytime you are consciously making an effort to improve yourself, you are participating in personal development. So just think about it. If you're working to improve your talents, you trying to maximize your learning potential, you want to make your employability or your entrepreneurial ability increased or enhanced, and you're thinking about becoming wealthy, that's going to translate into professional development.
Absolutely.
So that's why, for me, I tell like these independent creators and stuff, I tell people all the time, I can help you all day with your professional development, but if your personal isn't in order, you don't have a time.
Hey, and do you believe that starts with mindset?
It does. Oh, absolutely. Because the 6 dimensions of wellness: emotional, social, intellectual, spiritual, occupational, and physical. Emotional, intellectual, spiritual, social, and physical, they all go hand in hand.
All go hand in hand.
Yep.
And I found that I've been talking about a lot of mindset a lot with guests. I feel like this year I've said this word so much because I'm a mindset certified life coach. We hadn't, up until this point, it wasn't really talked about too much. Why do you think that people are getting into that changing their mindset or talking about mindset?
Well, mental illness is becoming to be demystified in the African American community. And I'm just gonna be honest, that's the only community I can talk about because that's what I'm a part of.
Hey, talk about it.
So, we live by what goes on in this house. What goes on in this house stays in this house. That's a problem. Because think about all the incest that went on amongst us.
Absolutely.
And why a lot of us are the way we are because of that.
Right.
Like, people don't understand that.
And
so
the communication is
confusion. You have all of this confusion. And what is it? The enemy is the author of confusion. So if you're confused as hell about what's going on, and I'm not confused about what's going on, and we come together, you're going to get mad at my ability to see clearly, and you're going to start manipulating me to think like you.
Right. And the cycle starts.
And it begins. And that is where, I told somebody the other day, my strongest asset and weakness is kindness, empathy, and sensitivity. Because when you're kind and you're empathetic and you're sensitive, it is easy for you to be manipulated by individuals that seek compassion.
Right.
So I call them compassion conners.
I like that.
They find people that are kind, empathetic, and sensitive, and they con them into compassion.
Wow. Wow. That says a lot because, it's taboo in the Black community, and it's sad. And we have to break that stigma that mental health and mental illness is two different things. And you have to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health every day.
Because if you don't, you will become mentally ill. Now, let's just be real about it.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that's where self-care comes in. And a lot of times people don't understand that self-care is actually very simple, like exercise, proper nutrition, sleeping, better, finding other things to do to help yourself be emotionally savvy, even having a solid network of family and friends. And, it's interesting because, like I said, a few days ago, I was just like over it. Because, I have somebody in my life that I allowed to literally take everything from me.
Wow.
So, and you know what? I'll even change the verbiage. I gave somebody in my life everything. It wasn't them. I gave it.
You gave it to them.
I gave them the ability to take everything from me to try to fill their own voids, and all it didn't even fill their void.
Wow.
It just drained me, because the reality is we cannot fill anybody else's cup realistically.
Right.
You can pour it out, but that don't mean it's going in the cup.
Absolutely. Girl,
you pouring it on the ground. That's why your ass drained.
What? Listen, did y'all hear what she just said? You can pour into someone, but it doesn't mean that they're going to allow you to fill them up.
Mm-mm.
They
Mm-mm.
can move out the way and it's on the ground or wherever.
No.
And then you trying to fulfill yourself and you can't because you just pouring. So
Yes.
that self-love, that mental health awareness and all of that stuff goes hand in hand with
Mm-hmm.
personal development
Yes,
and
sir.
essentially professional development.
Yes.
So let's talk about the false realities that people create when it comes to branding themselves
Okay.
for the lack of having positive personal development, which goes into them like overlooking the professional development side. Because like you were saying earlier, if you're not pouring into yourself in a positive way, personally, it's not going to transpire professionally.
Well, the biggest part of it is you have to have a clear self-care plan. And
Mhm.
so sometimes that's hard because, for me, all my life, I've watched people take care of other people.
Mhm.
So it wasn't until, let me see, 2018, 2019, when I started, getting going through school for licensure and counseling, clinical mental health counseling,
Mhm.
that I realized, I don't even know what self-care is. Because for me, self-care looked like helping everybody else
Being a nurturer.
and dealing with me
Mhm.
when I can.
Mhm. Yep.
So I still struggle with self-care. So I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I can talk to you about self-care all day, but this is probably not as much as I should. And
Right.
see, this is the stuff that I don't mind saying.
Uh-huh.
See, everybody wants you to think that their Instagram life is real. That's why I came on here without my weave and everything, so people know I ain't got no damn edges, and I'm proud of it. This is my hair.
Right.
I'm proud of my hair. I wear all the other shit because I like how it looks.
Right.
But this is me.
Yes.
No makeup.
Mhm.
My eyebrows are a little tinted. But
Hey.
it's just like, I get so tired of people living in this false reality.
Right.
Because it's not real. None of us wake up looking great every day. We just don't.
No.
And
No.
I'm okay with at this point in life, I'm okay with it because, like you said, personal development is important.
Mhm.
People already know what my personal development look like. I post enough pictures. I do enough professional photo shoots for you to see that I keep myself up.
Absolutely.
So if I want to go live in my bonnet and in my scarf, I'm going to do it.
It's your business.
Because I need people to understand it don't have to be perfect to work.
Absolutely. And then you're giving them that sense of reality.
Yes.
To break away from that false reality of social media and celebrities and all of this kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, when they take that makeup off and take out those extensions or that wig,
Yes.
what do their life look like?
And you know what? That brings me to something very important. You said we were going to talk about branding, branding, consulting, and caregiving while working.
Right.
When I come home, right, it's just me. But mentally, when I come home, it's my 83-year-old mother that's 6 hours away. It's my 41-year-old brother that drives tractor trailer and his 3 children, which are 5 and 3, one of which has cerebral palsy, spastic quadriplegia cerebral palsy, which means her arms and limbs are. My great aunt, who is 92 going on 93. My businesses.
Right.
My friends, families, and some loved ones that I probably need to cut the cord on, but I still love them so dearly that I carry the weight of their burden that I don't even know about. So when I get on social media and I say, I'm tired, when I get on social media and I'm telling you, this is who I am, this is what I look like when I take all that other shit off, it's because I'm comfortable with me. So for me, personal wellness and professional wellness are synonymous because there's a person behind the profession.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just like there's a person behind the person that you putting on that facade for social media.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I just looked at something and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this is what you think is accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Our babies out here killing themselves because you got to get on social media every day with your face beat to the gods.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Some people would be caught dead with their natural hair out.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I'm just at a point where I want to be free. And I feel like I've always had freedom, but I've always been in bondage, even with my freedom, because I grew up in a traditional home with my mother and my father who were older.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was 46, my father was 56. So I grew up very, very free to express myself, but I was in bondage because of how I grew up.
Right.
Because of how I grew up, I felt certain things were expected of me. You know, when I think about it, my parents did not put expectations on us.
Yeah.
The outside world did.
Yeah.
My church family.
Yeah.
My teachers who, oh, you're so smart. You're a straight A student. You need to be this and you need to be that. When really all I wanted to do was sing, play the piano, and dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I got all these damn degrees and I use them.
Mm-hmm.
But these pieces of paper don't mean anything to me. What means something to me is being able to impact other people.
Yes.
That's what means something to me.
Absolutely.
So at this point in time, as we talk about personal wellness and professional wellness, I tell people all the time, I can coach you all day on it. I'm trained to coach you on it.
Right.
But do I take great care of myself? No. Because I'm taking on everybody else's shit.
You don't have no time for yourself.
I don't have time.
Yep.
And the bad part is because I grew up doing it, you can't just turn that off.
Right.
I can retrain my brain all day. Girl, I'm liking this hang time.
Yeah,
I got, girl,
let's go. Stop looking like yes.
It's part of it. But I can retrain my brain every day. But like I said, the past few days, I was stressed the hell out. You know, I didn't eat for 2 days, right? Because I was so consumed with something I couldn't change.
Right.
Why? Because I feel like I can change it. See, when we get stressed out, we get stressed the hell out over shit we can't change.
Right.
Because just think about it. I can go outside and if my car doesn't start, I know enough about cars to call somebody so that I can hook up to their car and hook those jumper cables up and jump my car.
Right.
But if I'm in the middle of the road and my car stops, I'm about to get stressed out because out here in Atlanta, somebody's gonna kill me on that highway. So what I learned just in the past few days is that your upbringing can make or break you.
Yes.
And even the best upbringing. A secure attachment with one's parents is just as bad, if not worse, as a negligent attachment with parents. Because someone that had a secure attachment with their parents is going to love and love and love beyond reproach because they understand what unconditional love is. But someone with a negligent attachment is going to seek love in different ways. And you can't combine those forces. It's not going to work because one person going to be depleted and the other one ain't going to give a damn.
Absolutely. Listen, girl, listen. You just y'all better listen. Rewind.
And it took for me, you know, I was talking to a young lady and she said Monday night, she said, I'm gonna pray with you. But I need you to fast. And I'm like, I started to say, I ain't even tell her. I'm like, shoot, girl, I done fasted already 24 hours. So I'm going on 48 hours now.
Right.
But you know, one of the things people don't understand is that when you are building something, right? Do you ever see people lay a foundation in the midst of trees and grass?
Nope.
What they do?
They clear it.
Destroy everything.
Yep.
And the demolition has to occur. But then once they've demolished everything, Then they smooth out
Moved
that
it
dirt,
out. Mm-hmm.
and then they start to lay the foundation.
Yes, because what would happen if they tried to lay the foundation over all of that other stuff?
There you go.
It's not gonna hold.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, as we talk about self-care and things of that nature, we always hear of prevention.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take a turn and let's talk about intervention.
Wow.
Because, baby, you teach children prevention.
Yes.
Grown folk need to learn intervention.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
You feel what I'm saying? Because at this point in life, I can't prevent burnout. I got to intervene when I feel myself going into it.
Ooh.
You follow me?
Ooh.
I can't prevent burnout at this age.
Uh-huh.
So I think that we have to shift the mindset and start to talk about intervention.
Yes.
What are you doing to really help you? Like, look, we're required. Okay, so with the job, we have to have a therapist. I had one before I even got into this profession because I was so angry in graduate school, did not know why. I'm whole 25, 26 years old. You say something to me, I'm popping off.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Because I'm mad at the world.
Mm-hmm.
When I got into therapy, and everybody like black people want a black therapist, not me.
I mean, I just want one that fit. I want one that fit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I have had the most success and breakthrough with older white men. Why? Because they can't identify with me.
Absolutely.
If I sit in with a black, she gonna either identify with me as a mother, as an auntie, as a sister, or a friend. I don't need that. I need somebody that don't identify with me, somebody that's gonna look at me like, I don't understand that, but this is what I would do if I were you, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will never forget what that man said to me. He said, throughout this whole conversation, 3 things have come up: your boss, your daddy, and I think at the time it was my brother. Which one of those things can you control? And it's like, what? I said, I can control him because I got something for him. He was like, well, you probably could, and then you won't have no job.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Because my dad, at that time, had been deceased for about 8 years.
Okay.
My brother, who is the splitting image, and I'm talking about not looking like, but he is my daddy reincarnated.
Mm-hmm.
He was married to someone that was not so favorable to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like, why would he even go there? That's not even a depiction. Because I'm gonna be the first to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Unequally yoked ain't just by the word. You can be unequally yoked financially, and I'm just gonna keep it a stat. And I'm not talking about monetary value. You can be unequally yoked with your credit.
Yes.
You can be unequally yoked with what you value.
Yeah.
Because you might value $300 sneakers. I'm good with my little sneakers off of Amazon because they look cute with what I'm wearing, because I make my clothes. My clothes don't make me. So
I had to give you a hand clap.
I was dealing with the fact that I lost my daddy, and then a year later, my brother marries this woman with this girl and elopes a year after I lost my daddy. So now I done lost my brother. So I'm grieving losing my daddy legit at 14 years old because he went into Alzheimer's at 14.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm grieving the fact that his physical body is no longer here, and I'm 18 going on 19. Now my brother up in a low, I'm losing my brother. I'm grieving. I'm mad at the world.
Just mad.
Come on. What? 5 years later, I'm losing my grandmother. The only grandmother I ever knew, because my parents were so much older. I didn't know my mom's dad. I didn't know my dad's dad or mom, but my maternal grandmother lived with us. I look like her. My hairline is like hers. Like,
yeah.
I am Helen Hayes' grandchild.
Right.
And you want to talk to me about preventing burnout? No, you got to teach me how to intervene with this baby because I'm tired already. So fast forward now to being 36 years old. What's the difference between 26-year-old and 36-year-old Lillie Mae? Self-care, but in my own way.
Right.
So me getting my hair done and me getting my nails done, that's my self-care. But guess what? My self-care is also a part of my professional branding because I'm known by my colorful hair, my long nails.
Right.
So I say that to say that when you're thinking about self-care, understand that everybody's mechanism and method of self-care is going to look different.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do, though, is be truthful with yourself. And truth is a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
Truth is so complicated because so many people have lied to themselves all their lives that they believe the shit that they had told themselves. So when you combat or try to counter argue what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
they flip the script.
Yeah.
Because in their mind, this shit is real.
True.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, nah, this shit ain't real for real.
Mm-hmm. Narcissist.
But you know what? I used to say the same thing until I really understood it. It ain't narcissism.
What you found out?
Pure D unspecified trauma, because this is what happens.
Wow.
When you deal with a whole lot of trauma throughout your life, you start to disassociate. That's where dissociative identity disorder comes from. What people used to call multiple personalities. That's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have been through all of this stuff and you see everybody else around you and theirs look a little bit better, you start to disassociate from your reality.
Absolutely.
So I had to ask myself, well, can I keep saying that these people lying if they really believe that what they're saying? No, I can't keep telling them they're lying, but I can tell them go talk to a therapist. And what I have learned is that the majority of people with dissociative identity disorder, borderline personality disorder, and often, now bipolar is a different beast, but dissociative identity disorder and borderline personality, a lot of people get it mixed up with narcissism. Narcissism is like a Donald Trump. That's something totally different. But what we see more commonly is borderline and DID, because they disassociate with the world so bad that they create all these different things. And in the creation of all these different things, they start to believe.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. It behooves me because at one point in time, I had to create my own reality as to why my daddy had to leave me so early.
Right.
I won't feel in that. But then as I got older, I realized when your daddy went into Alzheimer's, he didn't want to be like that. And he knew it. Because believe it or not, Alzheimer's is the craziest thing. And I have studied it so much. But you know what he used to say to me sometimes? He would be like, sugar pie, I don't know why daddy gotta be like this, but I don't want to be like this.
Wow.
He knew he was not of
himself. Yeah.
Now, if my daddy with a diagnosed brain condition, gray matter everywhere, know that he got a problem, why don't your ass know you got a problem and you're supposed to be all right? Because he went to get diagnosed. You want to sit there and use all this stuff and make all these excuses and blame everybody else for why you're the way you are instead of seeking help for it.
Right. They self-diagnosing because
well, no, they don't even self-diagnose. What they do is they inflict their shit onto you. And don't deal with what's going on with them.
Right. Avoidance.
I tell people all the time, I got a therapist and I need it. And for real, a whole lot of people are walking around here safe because I have a therapist. And I'm just going to be honest. Because
it is what it is.
You carry one thing, we as Black women already carry around the weight of the world.
Yes.
Black men do. And so I'm not going to discount that at all. We as Black women already carry the weight of the world. And the worst part is professional, single, working Black women really carry the weight of the world. Because we're not getting no money coming in every day. We're not paying $5, $6, and $7 rent. We're not doing that. I'm not knocking nobody's situation, but listen to what I'm saying, people. Single, professional, working women carry the weight of the world. And by God's sake, don't let them have no child.
Oh,
They can't get no assistance.
yeah, absolutely.
Now, what does their self-care look like? They don't get it.
No.
When they sleep, that's self-care.
Yeah.
So,
if they getting sleep, because the mind won't turn off. The mind, you think
it doesn't. And that part. So let's just go there. How can you adequately practice self-care when your mind doesn't stop? See, everybody want to talk about ADHD in the form of children, but let's talk about ADHD in the form of adults.
Yeah.
A lot of us, that's why that word serial entrepreneur, I wish y'all would throw that shit in the trash can. You just got ADHD combined type, and because you grew up during the time frame that you grew up, you're able to work with it. I say it all the time. I know I'm ADHD combined type because I can do 50 million things and process. Why? Because our parents put that fire to our tail when we acted up. So instead of us being medicated, we were taught, get in line. And what we do, we whipped and shaped. And we did what we had to do. But guess what? After we did what we had to do, what we go? Back over there playing again.
I think I played mine off. Like when we got antsy, we go outside and we played outside.
But this here, we can do this, but we can also be face to face and talk. These children can't do that. Right. Hell, these adults can't do it because they too busy trying to be children. Oh, they don't like me, honey, and I really don't care.
Listen,
I tell people all the time, you might not like me, but by God, you will respect me. I mean, because I'm never going to give you. This is the thing. I am my mother's child, just as sure as the word. My mother was born in 1938. I am my mother's child. My best friend Jamila, even she spoke to me one time. She was like, Lillie, you gotta learn how to talk to people. She taught me how to be a better friend. Because what she taught me was that you're not my mama. You can't talk to me like that.
You were talking at her instead of
there
with
you
her.
Go. And I find that I am motherly. I am nurturing. But once again, what did I say earlier? A secure attachment with one's parents is just as detrimental as a negligent attachment, because for me, everybody is my child. I love on everybody. I want to fix it for everybody because I watch my mom and daddy fix everybody in the neighborhood. My brother and I got so many doggone brothers and sisters that's old enough to be our parents, that our parents been raised or fed or clothed. So if that's all I saw,
that's all you know.
So it's tough, honey. It gets tough out here.
I mean, and some behaviors you have to unlearn, relearn, and all of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you'll be stuck in that cycle.
You will.
You miss out on great people, amazing relationships, jobs,
that part. Let's go there, because relationships are a huge part of your professional wellness and development.
Absolutely.
So professionally, I've entered into a couple of different relationships and then found out, wow, they con artists. Or I enter into a relationship and then it's like, oh, well, this messed up on your end. And I'm looking like, baby, I got receipts. No, you messed this up. But if that's what helps you sleep at night, you go with it. Because what I have also learned, I'm not defending my case against you when I know I'm right.
Right.
Because I used to argue it down. But now, when I know without a shadow of a doubt that you got a whole lot of shit going on and you not doing what you need to be doing or what I feel you should be doing to be productive, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to let you continue to do nothing and produce nothing until one day you old and gray with nothing to show.
Come on.
That's it.
I tell my clients all the time, stop worrying about the stuff that you don't have control over. Now, the things that you have control over, then you fix those. Start with yourself first. Because if you're broken, how can you heal somebody else?
Indeed. And that's indeed real. That's so real. It's so real. So real. So real. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we get stuck in that cycle.
Mhm.
So guess what? We miss out on personal wellness and
We do.
professional wellness
We do. We do.
because
And, you know,
you
we
just
miss
on
out on
spin
our
cycle.
blessings
Yes.
because we're so busy trying to fix the lessons.
Mm.
And I'm
Say that
starting to hear
again.
that.
I need
We
you to
miss
say
out
that
on
again.
blessings because we're so busy trying to fix the lessons. Like, and I think, and once again, me and my best friend, she can relate. We taught special education. And in special education, one of the things that you have to do is differentiation of instruction. So we spend so much time trying to alter the lesson to fit the learning styles of so many different students so that they could get it, that we couldn't really implement the lesson plan like we wanted to because we so busy trying to fix it.
My sister was
Guilty.
guilty of the same thing.
Guilty. Like, I think that's why I always tell people I don't manage people, I manage projects. Because everything I seem to come in contact with is a damn project.
Mm-hmm. And then did you find yourself the kids that really grasp the concept of the lessons that you were trying to teach? You doing them a disservice by staying on the ones that are not.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because then they're falling behind. And that, girl, you better speak to it. So what ends up happening is I'm a fan of, you know, collaborative classrooms. So
Mhm.
if you don't know what collab classes are, it's classes with general education students and special education students. I'm a fan of collaborative classrooms, but there's a reason why you have pull out in small group instruction, because once again, like you said, if you stay stuck on somebody
Mhm.
that really got delays and
Mhm.
cognitive processing deficits, you're going to start hindering the kids that are excelling.
Mhm.
Just like, I'm going to be real with you. My mother and I used to laugh. My mother used to say, people should not stay in special education teaching it for up 10 years because they end up being real special. And realistically, a lot of older people I know, some in my family that taught special education, when they retired, I started to see the change. But the longer they were in special ed and teaching special ed, I'm like, you sure you're supposed to be teaching special ed? I stayed in it like 5 years. I stayed in 5 years and I transitioned into behavioral health. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably will only give behavioral health 5 years. I'm probably gonna switch over to the provider side and start doing more auditing because I know I take on these things.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Vicarious trauma is real. Vicarious trauma is real. And because it's so real, and because I'm empathetic, and because I'm kind, and because I'm sincere, you know, sense of a common humanity is not so common anymore.
Oh, just like
you know, I have to work through learning self-compassion. But see, then when you start talking about self-compassion, people start talking about self-centeredness. But it's not the same thing.
It is not.
Yes, self-compassion, it involves you to be kind to yourself.
To yourself. Give yourself grace.
Baby,
daily.
Trust me. I'm telling you.
I have an episode coming up called Self-Compassion with a lady, and we break it down because not many of us practice that. I was guilty of that.
No.
I'm like, I don't have to be good to myself as long as I'm good to the people that love me.
Good to others, honey. And because of that mentality, that's why some of us are so stressed out. We literally provide kindness, mindfulness, and sense of common humanity for everybody else but ourselves. And I have to go back to what my grandmother always used to say. I'll never forget when I first got my tattoo. You defiling your body. Your body is the temple. Now I get it. These tattoos ain't really hurting my body. What's hurting my body is when I'm dealing with your crazy ass, when I need to be dealing with my own self.
Absolutely.
And detoxing. So, you know, it's one of those things where when you know better, you do better. But sometimes, like my mom always say, you don't believe shit stink, go out there and wallow in it, and you're going to start to smell it.
Right.
And I think that for me, that's always been me as a kid and as an adult. I'm gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it until something happens.
Mm.
But the bad thing about it is when I hit something happening, it's over forever. And so that's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the other things that me and my friends talk about. I go, you know, I used to just stop like that, but now I'll give you a couple of rounds. I ain't gonna give you 9 rounds, but I'll give you a couple of rounds. I'll give you 3 or 4 rounds. But after those 3 or 4 rounds, I wipe my hands clean.
Right.
That's my self-compassion.
You have to, because what's the
Absolutely.
point? Like if you're going round for someone who is not listening to comprehend and understand what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You hurting yourself, because then you're getting frustrated. And what does frustration breed? Anger,
compassion, fatigue, and burnout. it just is what it is. You know, so it's for me every day I'm learning more about, you know, mindfulness as a protective factor, because work is already stressful. And then when I can clearly see the diagnosis in people in my employ and people that I come in contact with, you know, I'm like, hey, you know, you might want to talk to a therapist. But one of the things I've noticed is that when you continue to offer support or service to someone and they continue to deny it, they like being as they are, because they use how they are as an excuse.
Yes.
To do the shit that they do.
Yes. Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people don't want change. They want attention. And it's becoming a normal, it's becoming normalized. And it scares me about what will happen to the next generation. Because I just did a show with a Real Talk with Tim, and we were talking about these kids of today, how they're so entitled and privileged, and they want what they want right now. Hard work is not existent with them.
Oh no, they don't care. These children don't care about nothing. They don't care about nothing, child.
So it's like, how can you break that cycle? It's like, as a parent, I don't reward bad behavior.
No, you can't.
The classroom comes first. If you don't have good grades, you will not play sports or have any extracurricular activities.
These children don't know nothing about that no more.
Like, you're not gonna sit on the game all day. You're gonna go outside and play.
These children don't
have a conversation about your day. Like, my son just turned 13. You know, my daughter is 25. That's the big age group. So I mean, age gap. We were in a sense growing up together. So we watched some of the same television shows. She came home and told me about her day. Like, I didn't have to ask. With him, I find I have to ask. If I don't ask him something, he don't volunteer it. I don't know if boys are like that. And
I think it is. And you know what? That's been a common argument. I'm like, so why you didn't just tell me this? Like, just tell me.
Oh, you know what he said? You didn't. Yes.
Now, see, if that was me as a child and my mama, I wouldn't have no teeth in my mouth.
Right.
You feel me?
9 times out of 10, before I got home, she knew anyway, because I grew up in a small town where everybody knew everybody.
Oh, honey, they knew. So you was back talking in class. Okay. Go on, get in the tub, and I'll be waiting for you when you get out.
Waiting for you when you get out. She coming in there. You better not lock the door. Yes. Yeah, that's the worst aspect.
Girl, I used to try to hide the switch, honey. I would try to hide it. Like, I'm gonna hide it. And then my mama had this paddle, and it was called the Board of Education. You don't believe me? You Google it. It was called the Board of Education. And I forgot what that paddle said, but she kept it on top of the refrigerator like my little fat tail wasn't gonna get up there and get it. Girl, I got up there and got that Board of Education. Girl.
Look, we didn't get the Board of Education, but like the grandkids got one called Tron. And it was a little paddle. We got everything. Like, from a clothes hanger to everything.
I had to find it for you. So they still sell them. And it says, grip here firmly in case of frustration. Board of Education, Applied Psychology. That is what my mom used to set us up with. Yes, honey.
Wow.
Yes.
And I thank God for all them ass whippings that I got.
I sure do.
Because it made me who I am.
There is a difference between discipline and abuse.
And absolutely. You know, my mom was
Amazing.
borderline. I'm gonna go and put it out there. She was borderline, but listen, I thank God for them Betty Huff whippings, baby, because it made me who I am.
Absolutely.
It gave me insight to some of the things that I grew up learning that I didn't want my kids to be in that headspace. So I was able to take that and change and grow and evolve into the person that I am. And that's the whole thing about professional wellness and personal wellness. You have to want to change.
Absolutely.
And growth comes through change. And we eventually evolve into the person that God placed us here to be.
That's it.
Yes. So what are some tips that you can help listeners to maintain professional and personal, since we've been all, into both wellness? Like maybe 2 or 3 tips that you can help us with today.
So the first thing I would do is, get you a therapist. I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you don't want to get a therapist, if that makes you don't like that word, get a coach
or a counselor.
Get a coach or a counselor that can really, really, really help you and walk you through the things, help you clarify your values, your professional and personal goals, and give you strategies for reframing negative thinking. Because I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is reframing that negative thinking. That's real. And the other thing is really, really and truly focus on your wellness. Focus on your wellness and what that looks like for you. Wellness looks different for everybody. Wellness for me might be eating my piece of cake every once a week. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But sleep, eat healthy, exercise, find some activities outside of your house, because too many of y'all sit in the house and scroll on social media or play those damn games all day long.
Or Netflix and all
that's why you don't know how to really socialize, and you think you socializing and really you just in your own brain.
I agree.
And consult a higher being. I'm not here to tell nobody who and what to believe in, but I believe in Jesus Christ.
Me too.
Because I know that he has answered every one of my prayers, even my prayers for removal. He answered those, and I'm grateful for that.
Love, love, love. Love, love, love. So tell listeners how they can connect with you.
I am Lillie Mae The Collective everywhere, but what you can do is go over to my website. It's www.lilliemaecollective. That's LILLIEMAECOLLECTIVE.com. Go on over there, check it out, see what you need to see. If you need consultations, any kind of branding, portfolio development, holler at me. You need media coordination, somebody to host your red carpet or speak at your event, hit me up there as well.
Absolutely. And so what's next for Lillie Mae? What's next for you? What you got going on?
Oh God. So much has happened. More or less the acting side of things. Everybody know I'm animated by nature, but acting for me means me being myself in my official capacity. So I'm looking at more roles that are like news anchor roles and things of that nature, because ultimately I'm going to have my own talk show on major networks, and we're going to talk about the real deal. You're not going to have no makeup artist backstage. You're going to come out there the way you come out. We're going to keep it 100.
I want to be a guest.
Girl, listen, co-hosts are necessary. And that's the other thing. If I can say anything to you to prevent burnout, collaboration over competition. Stop being in competition with people that you can't compete with anyway, because your lane is your lane.
Right. Look, right. I love doing collabs. I love them.
Absolutely.
Collaboration over competition.
It's real out here.
I've been taking notes, baby, because I have to put I have to put the show notes. I have to make sure that I'm in the description, and I'll edit this out. But the people on YouTube watching, you'll see all of this. Listen, you get all of the behind the scenes. So if you're just listening, go over to Kickin with KeKe YouTube channel, and you can watch the behind the scenes and all of that. But yeah, I'll put all of the talking points, all of your website, social media, all of that go in the description. Yes.
Okay.
So I like to ask all of my guests before we get out, on a personal note, what would you, as yourself right now, tell your younger self about today's topic? And we done covered a lot, so you got a lot to tell your younger
I
self.
would tell my younger self to follow your mind more than your heart.
Oh,
because sometimes your heart will get you messed up.
That I feel that, because I've been there. Trust me. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
You guys have been listening to Kicking It with KeKe, Love, Life, and all of that other shit. I am joined with my guest, Lillie Mae. We have talked about professional wellness, personal wellness, mindfulness, self-love, self-compassion, branding and consulting, burnout. We've talked about a lot. Yeah. And I thank you for coming to kick it with me. Is there anything like a takeaway message that you would like to give listeners today about today's message?
Just
or
my
anything?
tagline: live life for purpose over popularity. Because when your feet, your back, and your head hit that dirt, if you bury it traditionally, or when you go in an incinerator, how popular are you going to be then?
Wow.
I mean, let's just be real. We remember Whitney Houston, but we remember what? All of the bad times. We remember her melodious voice, but all people want to talk about is the bad.
The bad, right.
So purpose, live your life for purpose over popularity, because sometimes popularity will drive you to an early grave.
Absolutely. And I don't have nothing to say after that. I really don't.
Thank you for having me, KeKe, and I will come kick it with you anytime.
Absolutely. Listen, we'll be in touch. Until next time, you guys, make sure that you live life on purpose, be intentional, be mindful, and make sure you love on yourself before you can allow somebody else to love on you the wrong way. I'll see you next week. Same day, same time, every Thursday, 3:00 p.m. I'm out.